Okay, what if I told you there's a hidden genetic glitch that could be making the B vitamins you're taking not just useless, but maybe even harmful? It's a huge problem, and it affects a wild number of people who have absolutely no idea what's going on inside their own bodies. So let's get into it and uncover what's really happening.
Yep, that's the number. About half, 50% of the entire world's population has this genetic variant. This isn't some super rare one-in-a-million condition. It is incredibly common, and it completely changes the game for how your body processes one of the most critical groups of nutrients out there.
So, this leads to the big question, right? Could this be happening to you? Could the very supplements you're taking for your health and energy be doing, well, nothing? Or, even worse, could they be building up in your system and causing a whole new set of problems? Let's find out.
To really figure this out, we kind of have to become detectives for our own health. There are 10 major warning signs. These are the clues that your body might not be using B vitamins the way it should be. Let's walk through them one by one.
First clue on the list, just being tired all the time. See, B vitamins are like the spark plugs that help your mitochondria turn food into cellular energy, what scientists call ATP. If you've got this glitch, that conversion process just doesn't work right. You're putting fuel in the tank, but your body can't actually make the energy, leaving you exhausted even if you got a full night's sleep.
All right, clue number 2, brain fog. Your brain is a massive energy hog for one, but it also heavily relies on vitamins B12 and B9, folate, to create the neurotransmitters that let your brain cells talk to each other. When that process gets sluggish, you start to feel it. You get forgetful, you can't focus, and you have that really frustrating feeling of just not being sharp.
Feeling a little off lately? Well, those same brain chemicals that help you focus also regulate your mood. So, when you have a deficiency in the B vitamins your body can actually use, it can throw those signals totally out of balance. This can show up as irritability, a drop in motivation, or just these subtle mood shifts where you don't really feel like yourself.
Think about how you feel after you eat. Now, it's pretty normal to feel a little relaxed right after a meal, but you should feel stable energy kick in about 1 to 3 hours later. If you're still feeling totally drained by then, that's a huge red flag that your body is failing to turn that food you just ate into actual fuel.
Do you feel overwhelmed really easily? Your nervous system and your adrenal glands, they absolutely depend on B vitamins to manage stress and produce hormones like cortisol. Without the right kind of Bs, your body's demand for resources goes way up during stress, but its ability to cope goes way down. It just leaves you with less and less resilience.
Now this one is a classic. Vitamin B12 is absolutely essential for the physical structure of your nerves. Think of it like the insulation on a wire. A deficiency can literally damage them, and that leads to those telltale pins and needles, a burning sensation or numbness, especially in your hands and feet.
Frequent headaches can be another big clue. When your body can't process certain compounds the right way, metabolic waste can start to build up. This creates what's called oxidative stress, and it can mess with blood circulation in your brain, leading to that recurring feeling of pressure, tension, and headaches.
A quick look in the mirror might even give you a hint. Vitamins B6 and B12 are critical for making healthy red blood cells. If you don't have enough, your body's ability to carry oxygen just plummets. And since it's the oxygen that gives blood its rich red color, fewer red blood cells can actually lead to a noticeably pale complexion.
This brings us to a really crucial point. You might be taking vitamins, but are they the right ones? See, the most common form of B9 you find in supplements and fortified foods is something called folic acid. That's the inactive form. If your body has this genetic glitch, it just can't convert it. And that unusable folic acid can actually build up and become a problem.
And finally, the most direct clue of all. High homocysteine is a key biomarker that you can measure with a simple blood test. An optimal level is somewhere between 5 and 7. Anything over 10, that's way too high, and it's a clear sign of a serious breakdown in your body's metabolic machinery.
So, we've looked at all the clues. Now it's time to unmask the suspect behind all of this. And it all comes down to a gene with a really complicated name, MTHFR.
MTHFR is the name of the enzyme that does that critical conversion, turning those inactive B vitamins, like folic acid, into their active, usable forms that your body actually needs, like methylfolate. The genetic glitch we've been talking about is just a common variation in the gene that makes this enzyme, which causes it to work a lot less efficiently.
To really get what's happening inside your body, let's use an analogy. I want you to think of it like a metabolic traffic jam. There are these specific biochemical roads that need to stay clear, and this MTHFR glitch causes a major blockage.
So what are the cars in our traffic jam? Well, they're a compound called homocysteine. It's a totally natural byproduct of breaking down protein. In small amounts, it's no big deal, but if it can't get cleared out of the way, it starts to build up, and it becomes toxic and super inflammatory. And this is just a brilliant way to picture the problem. Homocysteine enters this recycling pathway, let's call it a traffic roundabout. It's supposed to get recycled, but to really clear it out, some of it has to take an exit ramp. But here's the kicker. If the nutrients needed to open that exit are missing, the homocysteine just keeps circling and circling, creating a toxic traffic jam in your system. And here's what that looks like. With a blocked pathway, you get high homocysteine, which leads to inflammation and damaged blood vessels. But crucially, it also blocks the production of glutathione, your body's master antioxidant, the guy who protects your cells from damage. A clear pathway, on the other hand, means healthy homocysteine levels and the ability to make all the antioxidant protection you need.
So how in the world do we clear this traffic jam? Well, the answer isn't just one single nutrient. It's actually a team of 7 essential cofactors that are needed to open up both the roundabout and that critical exit ramp. Let's take a look at the roadmap.
Here it is, the full roadmap. To keep that roundabout moving, you need active B9, B12, B2, and something called trimethylglycine. But to open that all-important exit ramp, the one that also creates glutathione, you also need active B6, L-serine, and NAC. You really need all 7 working together to keep the traffic flowing smoothly.
This quote from the source material just sums it up perfectly. If you only support that first pathway, that roundabout, you're still going to have high homocysteine, and you're still not going to be able to make that crucial antioxidant, glutathione. You've really only solved half of the problem.
So let's just be crystal clear about why this is so important. High homocysteine isn't a small issue. It actively damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, which is a key step in the development of heart disease. It drives up inflammation all over your body, and it starves you of glutathione, leaving your cells totally defenseless against damage. So, after seeing all the signs and really understanding the mechanism, it leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question to think about. Looking at your own health, is it possible that your body is stuck in a nutritional traffic jam?